All right, so apparently at the end of the last lesson, I said page 204, review 5 through 12. And I'm sure those watching on YouTube were smart enough to realize that since we're in page 490, it's 504. But anyway, we're going to take a look at page 504, review 5 through 12. If you're watching on YouTube, you want the full benefit of the homework, then you'll pause the video and work it. They don't get that. They have to work it in real time. So we're going to work them through together. And if you were smart enough to figure it out, send me an email, let me know, and maybe give you a bonus point or something. But anyway, these students don't have that chance. So page 504, something we haven't seen in a little while, and that is an arithmetic series. A series from 1 to 10 for the argument 5i negative 2. What do we need to do on a problem like this? Kendall? No benefit of looking it up in your notes last night for homework like was hoped that you would have. But what do we need to do when we see a binomial argument?
You can split it up.
Split it up. The distributive property says to split it into the series of 5i minus the series of 2. But we could even split it up more, Michael.
Yes. 5 series I.
5 times the series of I minus the series of 2. In each case, of course, from 1 to 10. The lower bound 1, the upper bound 10. We like lower bounds of 1. Makes it really easy. And remember, for a series of I, without having the opportunity to go back and look it up on the formula page, what's the formula, anyone?
N times n plus 1.
That's pretty good. N times n plus 1 all over 2. So 10, which is n, times n plus 1, which is 11, all over 2. But we also have this 5 that's going to be multiplied as well. And then here we have just a constant. What do we do for a constant series, class? Multiply c times n, right? The constant times the upper bound, which of course is going to be a 20. Here I can cancel the 2 and the 10, class, to get a 5. 5 times 5. 25 times 11. 275. 275 minus 20. 255 should have been our answer. And again, hopefully if you did do that homework, or if you paused the video long enough to work it, you got 255. Looking at number 6, we have the series of 4i squared negative 7i from 1 to 7. Again, we need to split this up. Let's see if we can do the full splits, plural, all at the same time. And Maddie, I think, is up to the task. Maddie, give us the full splits.
4 times the series of I squared minus 7 minus 7. Oh, yeah, 7 times the series of I.
Good. 4 times the series of I squared minus 7 times the series of I, in each case going from 1 to 7. Now, here it's just a series of I, consecutive integers, and again, the formula, class, is n times n plus 1 all over 2. So 7 times 8 all over 2, and of course we have this 7 also being multiplied here, and a negative in front. But for a series of I squared, what's the formula?
1 times 2n plus 1 all over 6.
Good. N plus 1, 2n plus 1 all over 6. So n plus 1 is 8, 2n, 14 plus 1, 15, all over 6. And of course we also have this 4 out in front. Here, class, the 2 can cancel with the 8 to give us a 4. The 6 doesn't cancel with any one thing, but I can at least take a 2 out of the 6 to get a, and a 2 out of the 8 to get a 4. But I can also cancel now the 3 with the 15 to get a 5. So I have 4, 7, 4, and 5 that all need to be multiplied. 560. And then I've got a 7 times 7 times 4. 196. We subtract 196 from 560 and we come up with a final answer, 364. And again, if you did the correct homework and got that answer, wonderful. You guys, again, my intention was you'd have the time to kind of go back, and if you needed to look things up, you could have questions on this. Like, it didn't benefit you as much as it could have if you'd been able to work at your own pace, but questions nonetheless. All right, let's take a look at something that you can do very quickly on your calculators right now. So what is a permutation of 15 items in which 3 have been chosen and the order matters? Abby?
A permutation of number 7?
Number 7.
Is 2,730.
2,730. Number 8, 31 items. We're going to pick 4 of them and the order matters. Brandon?
755.
$755,160.
755,160. For number 9, a combination of 10 items. 10 are chosen. Doesn't really matter what order the 10 items are chosen. Audrey? Number 9?
184,756.
Good, 184,756. Number 10, there are 25 items. I'm going to choose 5 of them. Doesn't really matter the order in which I choose them. Kendall?
53,130.
53,130. And number 11 and 12, now this getting into some more of the more recent material here, we're finding the 6th term of 3x minus y to the 9th. 3x minus y to the 9th, finding that 6th term. We refer to this process as finding the rth term, and we need the binomial formula to find the rth term. What is the binomial formula, Michael?
NCR times A to the R minus 1. No, N minus R plus 1. And then B R minus 1.
And there's actually another minus 1 right there. So NCR minus 1, A to the N minus R plus 1, and B to the R minus 1. What is N and what is R in this particular problem, Genesis?
R is 6 and N is 9.
Good. R is a 6, N is a 9. So for our NCR minus 1, Genesis, we're going to take a combination of
NC5.
9C5. And then the A in this particular binomial expansion here, Maddie, is actually 3x, and we'll raise it to the 4th power. N minus R is 3, plus 1 is 4. And the B in this particular problem, Abby, is a...
It's the y, the negative y.
The negative y. Good, the sign is part here. We don't really worry about the sign when we're actually doing the expansion, but if we're just finding a term, we have to account for it. And what power do we raise to?
You raise it to the 5th.
The 5th power, R minus 1, or you could just go with the number that you'd already written down there. So a combination of 9 take 5 gives us what value here? Brandon? 9C5.
126.
So we have 126, then 3x to the 4th, Audrey. And then we've got this negative y being raised to the 5th. Well, that just gives us, Kendall, negative y to the 5th. We'll multiply all of this together, and we end up with what answer, Michael?
Negative 10,206 x to the 4th.
And there we go, negative 10,206 x to the 4th, y to the 5th. How many, as we were kind of working together, had that answer? Again, would have liked you to benefit from doing it, though did have a couple of these in the rest of the homework anyway. And then one of the 4th term of x plus 5y to the 4th. 4th term of x plus 5y to the 4th. And so here, Audrey, n is, and r is also 4. So for our combination, we're going to do a combination of, Brandon, 4 take 3. And our a, of course, is just an x. We're going to raise that class to the 1st power. N minus r is 0, plus 1 is 1, or subtract the numbers. And then the b here, class, is 5y. We're going to raise that to the 3rd power. What is 4c3 anyway? Let's say it should be 4. Yeah, 4. And of course, here we have just an x, and then 5y cubed, class. 125y cubed, and so our final term is 500xy cubed. And there we go. Questions on what should have been your homework, or part of the first part of your homework last night? Any questions on any of this? You say, yep, I would have nailed it if I'd done it last night. All right. All right, page 491. Page 491. Let's take a look at the main part of the homework. That was more auxiliary review or ancillary review. Page 491, you did 2, 4, 8, and then on the next page, 16 and 18. Problem number 2, you were simply cubing an x negative y. What do we need to do to cube a binomial x minus y? Genesis? Let's start with the triangle specifically.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Write down a 1, 3, 3, 1 as we cube the x minus y. And then what, Maddie?
You, 8x more x cubed x squared.
And then Abby.
The second term, y, and then y squared, y cubed.
There we go. And Audrey,
Alternate
where do I put the negative?
after the x cubed.
Good. So the first term is the understood positive. Here's my negative.
Positive, negative.
And there we go. How many had this answer? 4, number 2. Should have been really straightforward there. Number 4 wasn't too different, except there was an 8x and it was a plus. Well, if there's a plus, class, that means all the signs are going to be positives. But it's not just an x that's being cubed in each case. It's an 8x being cubed. So right here, if you cube the 8x, class, you get 512x cubed. And instead of just squaring the x, it's an 8 and an x being squared. When you square 8x squared, class, 64x squared. Of course, we still have this y, and we need to multiply the 3, so we end up with 192x squared y. Here, it was just an 8x, but that's multiplied by the 3. 24 8xy squared, and you're still going to finish with just a y cubed. How many had this answer on number 4? Good. Questions? Number 8, we have an x negative 3 being raised to the 4th power. And Michael?
1, 4, 6, 4.
Good. From the triangle, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Kendall?
X squared 1, x cubed, x squared, x cubed.
All right. Genesis? We got our 1, 4, 6, 4, 1 from the triangle. We took the first term and we went 4, 3, 2, 1, gone.
Gone 3, 9, 27,
And Maddie?
Alternate sides.
Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. And we just got to clean it up a little bit, make it look good. Abby?
X to the 4th minus 12x to the 3rd plus 56x squared minus 108x plus 1.
There we go. Then the 54 as opposed to 56. And there we go. How many had that answer for number 8? It's all good. Questions on that? All right, turning the page then. Any questions at all on expanding binomials? Feel like we got this? Like, please give us a quiz. We want 100. Yes. Oh, Brandon's scared. Oh. Well, if you don't take a quiz, then I just keep teaching, and you have to know more stuff. See? I liked quizzes in school because it meant the teacher wasn't talking, there was less notes to take. Anyway, I digress. Number 16. We got a 12 minus x to the 4th, and they want to know what is the 3rd term. Again, what is the formula that I need to find any number term of any binomial raised to any power? Audrey? Sorry? What's the formula I need to find any number term of any binomial raised to any power?
The C, N R minus 1 times A to the N minus R plus 1 and B to the R minus 1.
All right. And so in this particular instance, since N is, okay, and R is 3, we're going to put right here, Audrey. Okay, so 4C2. And instead of an A, it's a 12, the first term being raised to the good, second power. And then the B is really a negative x, and it's being raised to the second power, also, or being squared. 4C2 ends up being what, class? 6. And then 12 squared, of course, class. And if you square a negative x squared, and so we get for our answer, Audrey.
864x squared.
How many have 864x squared? For number 16. On number 18, they wanted the 8th term. Was it 9 plus x to the 10th? Again, what is n? What is r, Brandon? So So when I go to plug it into my formula here, I'm going to put
10c7 times 9 cubed times x to the 7th.
there we go, and 10c7 is 120, 9 cubed.
729.
We should have that one memorized, and then x to the 7th, of course, is just.
X to the 7th.
So we multiply the 729 by the 120. What do we get for our answer, Brandon?
87,480 x to the 7th.
How many had 87,480 x to the 7th? Questions?
I accidentally had the binomial from number 20.
I gotcha. Okay. Questions, comments? Well, let's take a quiz then. Clear desk except for a clean sheet of paper, pencil, and calculator, and if you want, for an additional cover sheet, your Pascal's triangle. Assuming that's all you've got on the page is Pascal's triangle, you can have that out. I'm going to be taking mine down because it has more than just the triangle on it. If you have that sheet with Pascal's triangle, if you don't, that's okay. You can make another one pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Is it round or border?
Oh, it depends on if you worked Morse code into the border, you know.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you can use it. All right. There's a desk there. It's okay, Genesis. All right. And we've all used these triangles before, right? So that way we know we didn't have a missed copy, because wouldn't that be terrible? But if we've been getting right answers all along, that's a good sign that our Pascal's triangle was copied down right. Uh-oh, flowers. All right, so pencil, paper. On the blank sheet of paper, first and last name, along with today's date, which is 4/29/22. On the blank sheet of paper, first and last name, 4/29/22, and this is quiz 35. Quiz 35. Let's take a look at the quiz together. 1 through 6, write the word or phrase that best completes each statement. Follow the directions, as it were. For numbers 7, 8, and 9, you're actually doing the expansion of the binomials. For numbers 10, 11, you're finding the specific term. Again, show as much work as you feel you need to get the right answer. And hopefully that's enough work. But if you got the wrong answer, I give you partial credit. We're hoping for some hundreds here. All right, you may begin.